I'm Anne-Marie and I'm a nutritionist and I work for Zest Health for Life, and Zest promote health and wellbeing in local communities. So today we're here in the Ministry of Food kitchen and I'm joined by resident chef Simon. Hi Simon.
Hi Marie.
So we're also joined by an audience as well, so thanks for coming guys, and I hope you're all hungry because later on we're going to try and get you to taste some of the recipes as well. So should we get going, Simon?
Yeah, definitely. We've got some ingredients on the tray today and they're all sourced sort of in the Leeds market. This recipe is really ideal because it's a really cheap and cost-effective dish, and especially if you're a student.
Definitely.
Also, it's healthy and nutritious and it's very, very versatile. You can make many different dishes out of this one dish.
Right, okay, so what are we making today?
So we're making a simple tomato sauce. What we're going to do is, first job we've got to do is we've got to prepare our onion.
Okay.
So we're just going to place that on the chopping board and we're going to remove the top of the onion like so. Just discard that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to peel away these papery layers. So we'll place our fingers in that bridge position like that, and then we just slice down directly through the onion. And you can see there that the onion's been sort of chopped in half, which is great. As you're chopping the onion, we're chopping it into small diced pieces.
Right.
So all the folds of the onion connect to that root end there. So we want to leave that in really. So we're going to peel and discard these brown papery layers. We'll just do that right quick. Leaving that hairy end on.
Hairy end?
Yeah. Leave the hairy end in. And then we're going to slice the onion up. So we're going to.
Does it need to be quite fine when you slice it up?
Yeah, I mean it can be for this one. It's good. It's always a good thing to practice your chopping skills anyway. So you need a good sharp knife. Take a nice grip on the knife like so, and then you want your fingers in this what we call the claw position, keeping your fingers tucked right in and using the tip of the knife just to slice down through the onion. And you can see there that I'm not slicing through the root end of the onion. Once you've done that, turn your fingers round and then just slice down through the onion, keeping your fingertips tucked right in behind the blade. Watching your thumb as well, just slice all the way down like that. It's always good whenever you're chopping your vegetables, pop it on the flattest side, then you know you're working safely, and then just cut round through the onion. And you can see there's always one part of the knife touching the chopping board, so I'm just basically slicing through it. So we'll repeat the process. We can do it a little bit quicker this time. So fingers in the claw position, using the tip of the knife, slicing down through the onion, not cutting through the root end. This side's a little bit bigger. Like
so have you got any tips when your eyes start watering? Because my eyes always start to water when I chop onions.
There are many myths around, basically.
The spoon in the mouth.
Yeah, but I think I don't really think there is any major way other than, you don't really want to be wearing goggles or anything like that.
Just leave you to chop the onion.
Yeah, and then put your fingers in that claw position again that way, and then just slice through it again, and then hopefully you'll have nice small pieces. Again, pop it onto the flat side and then just chop round that stalk. Now, sometimes you'll have some small bits and some sort of uneven bits. So a little technique that you can use is called the cross chop, and this is where you pop your hand on top of the knife like that, and then just rock the knife, cross chop from the tip to the heel, just chop through your onions, and you can get them a little bit finer. Just pop that to one side of the chopping board and we'll get on with the garlic. So again, these are cloves of garlic and that is a bulb, just in case you were wondering. So the recipe calls for 2 cloves. So if you just, what I normally do is tend to chop that darker bit off the top there. You don't really want that in there. Same again with the other one. Just chop that off. And then
is there an easy way to get the skin off?
Yeah, there is, yeah. So if you pop your garlic on your chopping board, put your hand on top of the knife and then just squash it like that. And it's important to put it in what's known as the heel end of the knife, just because it's going to be a bit easier for you to chop. Okay. Pop that off there. You can see that comes off really quickly like that. And then we're going to use that technique that we've used before. So always one part of the knife touching the chopping board and our fingers in the claw position. And we're going to rock the knife from the tip to the heel, and we're just going to slice through that garlic, getting it nice and fine. And then once you've done that technique, you can revert back to the cross chop technique, which you use to get your onions a little bit finer, and just slice through.
Brilliant.
Like that. So that's absolutely fine, Anne-Marie. So that's all the ingredients chopped for the base of the sauce.
Have we heated this pan up already, or?
Yeah, we've heated the pan up, Anne-Marie, so
Right.
do you want to measure the
Yeah.
oil out?
So why did you heat the pan up first of all?
Like I say, because to make sure that oil disperses in the pan there, yeah?
Okay.
So you can pop that in, and you can see it spreading out over the bottom of the pan. That's it.
So people tend to use a lot more oil, don't they, just because it's olive oil?
Yeah,
Because they
that's
think
it.
it's because it's healthier, they use quite a lot, but actually it's still going to have the same calorie content.
Yeah.
So you do need to still be quite careful with
I mean,
that.
you can see that if I just move that around there, you can see that 1 tablespoon,
Yeah.
because they all sort of covered all the bottom of the
Normally
pan.
just sits there, doesn't it, if it's a cold pan?
Yeah, that's it. So do you want to pop those ingredients in there,
Yeah.
Anne-Marie? Yeah.
I'll just scoop them up.
Yeah, just scoop them up and pop them in, and hopefully we've got a little bit of a sizzle, which is what we want. So what we're doing now is we're cooking the onions, and we're using a term that's known as sweating. It's basically we're cooking the onions until they become transparent and clear in the middle, and basically we're releasing the natural sugars that are inside there, and it's going to give our sauce a real nice sweet flavour.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So that's going to take probably 3 or 4 minutes.
Right.
Yeah?
So I notice also as well that you haven't got any salt here, and we're not
Yeah.
using salt. So one of the things with our recipes is we're not really going to be using salt in any of them. And that's because obviously too much salt is not really great for your health. And you'll find, won't you really, Simon, that jarred sauces that you get in the supermarket, many of them tend to be quite high in salt. Whereas when you cook it from scratch yourself, it's obviously going to be that bit more healthier. So if someone wanted to add a bit more seasoning, what sort of stuff could they add in here apart from salt?
There's all sorts of different things that you could do. I mean, you could definitely add different herbs and spices, and basil's obviously really very complementary with tomatoes.
Yeah.
We'll just turn that up a little bit, Anne-Marie,
Yep.
so we get that sort of rocking and rolling. So this actual top, it goes up to a number 10 in its heat.
Right.
And we're on about number 6. So if you're cooking on gas,
Yeah.
about 2/3 of the heat. But going on to your point, different herbs and spices you could use, coriander, basil. This would be nice maybe with some crushed fennel seeds in, maybe a few chili, maybe some chili flakes.
Where do you get fennel seeds from?
Again, we've got some brilliant stores in the Leeds market actually, some fantastic Asian suppliers.
Right.
And you can buy those sort of ingredients quite cheaply, especially compared with a supermarket where you tend to buy well-known brands in smaller jars.
Yeah.
You can get much better value for money.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we can see that that's just starting to do its thing now, and it's starting to change colour, which is what we want really.
Yeah. So you're looking for that see-through
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
thing, aren't you, really?
I mean, one thing that you do have to remember is you don't want to take it too far because it's got garlic in it. Now, if the garlic burns, it can give a very bitter, not an acrid flavour to the sauce. So that's where we're looking at there.
Okay.
We're looking about a minute off. So maybe do you want to pop in the chopped tomatoes, Anne-Marie? Once you've added the liquid, you can turn which is the tomatoes. You can actually turn the heat up a little bit and reduce it a little bit sort of quicker really.
Right, so when you say reduce, do you want to explain what that means?
So basically reducing means you're cooking the ingredients that are in the pan, and you'll notice that when it's cooking the steam evaporates away, and that's just the water content coming away. So the sauce that's inside becomes more concentrated in its flavour and gives the sauce a real nice rich deep flavour.
Okay. Oh, I think we've got a question from the audience here. Yeah?
Hi, yes, what if I only have fresh tomatoes?
Ooh.
So, if you have fresh tomatoes, I mean, especially if your tomatoes are sort of a little bit, sort of older in the shelf life and a bit more juicy, they're going to be absolutely perfect for a sauce. And especially if they're like that, you wouldn't want to throw them away. It seems a shame to throw ingredients away. I've got a tomato here, so what you would do is you just remove that green part of the tomato, because these are vine tomatoes. Remove that green part there, and then put a score in the top there, and then you would plunge that into boiling water for about sort of like 20 seconds, then into cold water, and then you would see that the skin would start to naturally peel away. You can just peel the skin off, pop that on the chopping board, chop it up reasonably fine, and then that'll be the same as your chopped tomatoes.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
Great. I think tin tomatoes though tend to be a bit more convenient, don't they, really? I know myself, I've always got tin tomatoes hanging around the cupboard.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Anne-Marie, because I mean, with something we'd always try to encourage you to do is build up your store-bought ingredients.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if especially if you're a student and you're studying late at night, sometimes you haven't got time to go out to the supermarket, so you can revert back to your store cupboard and you've always got something in there to make. This is a really good one for freezing as well.
Right.
So yeah, you could make even a larger batch of it. Yeah, make a big batch of it.
The other thing as well with tomatoes is they are really good for you. So a lot of people think because it's tinned it's not going to be as good, but tomatoes have something called lycopene in them, which is basically an antioxidant, and it's what gives tomatoes its red colour. And it's really good for heart health and immune system. But when they tin the tomatoes, basically during the tinning process, more of the lycopene's absorbed. So actually they're really good. And especially if you're feeling a bit rough after a night out, tinned tomatoes are quite good to have, aren't they?
I don't know, Marie, because I don't ever feel rough after a night out.
Is it just me then?
Right, cool. That looks about ready, Anne-Marie. Yeah, you've done a really nice job there. That's fantastic. If you just want to pop that to one side, we'll let that just settle down.
Okay.
I've got one actually that we made here earlier. Now, I remember I talked to you basically about how versatile the actual sauce was. Well, I'm going to show you now some uses that you can put the tomato sauce for. So we've got a tomato soup there, and all we've done is we've added some stock to that and just pureed it.
Right. Like a vegetable stock or something?
Yeah, just a little vegetable stock in there, and then used a food processor to blend it up. We've used the tomato sauce there to make a nice pizza, which we've cooked there for you. You can make a beautiful little pasta bake, and you can just get your pasta, pop that on there.
So these are all really cheap dishes to make, aren't they, basically?
Yeah, basically, yeah. You can get some of that sauce.
Yeah.
You can pop that on the top there, and there's quite a lot of pasta in there.
And you could maybe add some meat to that or something, couldn't you,
yeah,
as well?
Give that a good mix round, pop that on there, and pop on some Parmesan cheese, maybe something like that.
Great.
Like that. If you have any left, you could freeze that over and pop it in the freezer.
Okay.
Make a large batch of it. Goes really nice with some chicken.
Right. So how long does it take to defrost if you're frozen it?
You could just take it out of the. If you portion it up in a little tub, pop it in your fridge or freezer, sorry.
Yeah.
And then pop it in the microwave for a few minutes. You can just defrost it like that, or you can just leave it out, for a few hours and it'll naturally defrost anyway.
Brilliant. Thanks guys, so that's another healthy, simple recipe for myself and Simon. And remember, if you want any of these recipes, you just need to go to www.YourStudentBox.co.uk.